You know, one of the stories that people really know very well is Noah and the Ark. And can you tell us the symbolism that goes along with the flood and the Ark, as an example?
Okay. Well, the way I understand it, it's always, everything is about the interactions between heaven and earth, what I call in my book, heaven and earth. So it's, what I mean by heaven and earth is basically the concept of, well, it's so fundamental, it's actually hard to describe. That's part of the problem. That's part of why you have to give many, many examples, because it's the fundamental aspect of reality. So you can't describe it with something else because it's at the basis of everything. So, but I could still try. It's something like meaning and facts. So heaven is meaning, where the meaning comes from, and the earth is where facts are, like potential, but also just things that are there. So the flood is an example of when the meaning and the facts of the world begin to shift apart, or they begin to be confused. There's a confusion between meaning and fact. And when that happens, well, things begin to dissolve and fall apart. So things become confused in their identity. So you see, the story of the flood is kind of the opposite of the story of Adam naming the animals. So you have Adam that names the animals. So that's an example of giving meaning to factuality, or giving meaning to what is. And then with the flood, you have the opposite. So you have the identity of beings are falling apart, and there's confusion, like there's hybridity between animals. So this is in tradition, but these are very well established tradition that before the flood there were a mixture of animals. They started to create hybrids of different animals. But this is important. It means something very, very significant. It means the identity of beings were getting confused. So that's why I said it's the opposite of Adam naming the animals. Because Adam, when he names the animals, that's what he's doing. He's giving a clear identity to beings. But then in the flood, this identity is being confused, like they're being mixed together. And then what Noah does, the flood, the idea that there's water covering the earth, that is what it represents. It represents a confusion between, it's not just confusion in the sense that we don't know something. It's also like a fluidity of things. Things change always. The definition of things start to change in a way where there's nothing stable and there's nothing fixed, and things get mixed up together. So that's what the water between heaven and earth represents. It represents a changing, a fluidity between identities. And then, so what Noah does is he preserves those identities. See, he's not just preserving the animals, he's preserving the identity of the animals, the spirit of the animals. And the text is written in a way for people to understand that, because it says everything that has a breath will fade away. So the breath is your spirit, right? Your identity. So what Noah is doing is preserving each animal in the ark to preserve them from the confusion. And then after the confusion passes, so he emerges again with all the species still intact. So he's preserving, actually what he's preserving in a way is knowledge, because he's preserving the names that Adam gave to the animals, the identity that Adam gave to the animals. That's also what he's preserving. He's preserving ancient knowledge in a way.